Tonight, I dine on turtle soup. I feel like gumbo. Outstanding.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Video Game Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about TMNT Shredder's Revenge on the Nintendo Switch. And thankfully, I'm back to video clips instead of still frames. My most recent episode before this was The Witcher 3, and I was only able to capture still frame shots. I thought they looked pretty good. They might have even looked too good to accurately represent the game on Switch, but anyways, that's what I was able to put together. But we're back to the usual video clips, so hooray. So I'm going to try to keep the I'm going to try to keep this short and focused. So let's dive right in. Here on Shredder's Revenge, the visuals, you can see those. Obviously, not too much needs to be said in my opinion. I personally think that they nailed the look of this game. It's old school, but still detailed in a lot of ways, and I really appreciate that detail. So I'm going to move right along to the next point, which I think is maybe the most important point in my opinion, and that is the controls and the gameplay. So the controls are tight, and they've added a little more technique compared to the older Turtles games, which were great back in the day. Don't get me wrong, I know, Turtles in Time, everyone is going to say, but arguably by today's standards for beat 'em up games, you know, they are a little bit basic and repetitive. So this game completely fixes that. Though I do recommend using a Pro controller if you have one, because there's a pretty useful move that you do by pressing B and Y at the same time. And on the Joy-Con, the right analog stick tends to get in the way of that particular move, for me at least. So if you have a Pro controller, that's like definitely the way to go on this game. Okay, so on to the audio. The sound effects are competent. Nothing really to write home about, but they're solid, they're there. But the real highlight, for me at least, as far as the audio goes, is the music, or most of it anyways. So they put the original theme from the first cartoon show in here, and it's been redone or covered by Mike Patton of Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, and Phantomus fame. And there's also an original track by Raekwon and Ghostface of the Wu-Tang fame. And that is honestly really awesome. And there's also this great 80s like power ballad sort of hair metal kind of thing. It's like a parody, and it kind of reminds me of like the Team America theme, but obviously not as vulgar. Anyways, I loved it. I thought it was great. So, moving on to the value. I finished this game in 2 sittings, but it could definitely be finished in 1. All of the characters, even the 4 turtles, have a decent enough feeling of variety in terms of how they play. And their move sets and all that. It feels fairly different to go from one character to the next, which is what you want in a game like this. Like basically the problem that you're fighting against when you're putting together a beat 'em up game is monotony. They're great fun, but you need to figure out how to incorporate variety, and I feel like they've done that. Okay, but let's stay on target here. So we're talking about value, and the game costs $25. Which I personally have absolutely no regrets about. I know this may seem like a bold statement to some, but I stand behind it. I personally think this is the best Turtles game ever, largely due to the enhanced technique, or move set, that I kind of mentioned earlier. That's very important in breaking up that honestly kind of inherent monotony within a beat 'em up game. So I think a lot of this game's replay value will come from multiplayer, and it offers both local multiplayer. You can do up to 4 people at the same time, or you can go online. I don't have the I don't know why, I just won't spring for the Nintendo Online Pass thing. But anyways, if you do that, it can be up to 6 players at the same time, which honestly, I mean, I haven't played yet, but it seems like it would be like too much. Anyways, but it's available if you're interested. So my only real criticism regarding a missed opportunity is that there's only, at this time at least, one character to unlock, and you unlock that character as soon as you beat the game for the first time. Like, as soon as you finish story mode, you get the one unlockable character, and that's it. You have everything. So, like, had they offered more unlockable characters at launch, a la Streets of Rage 4, that would have boosted the single-player replay value tremendously, in my opinion. So if you're not particularly a Turtles fan or a beat-em-up fan, but you want to try one anyways, you're kind of curious about the kind of beat-em-up resurgence that we've had in recent years, and you want to give one a shot, but you want to play like the best one because you're not like that historically, you're just not that into them, I still recommend, on Switch at least, going for Streets of Rage 4. But if you've already played that to death and you're looking for another high quality beat 'em up, this one is among the better choices available, in my opinion. Although this was published by the same team that did Streets of Rage 4, it was actually developed by the team that did the Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up, which I know has some very strong fan support, but I, despite being a fan of the IP and like the Michael Cera movie, you know, I thought that movie is a lot. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Like, for a video game fan, I think that movie's a lot of fun. But with the Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up, listen, I've tried to get into the game multiple times, and I just can't. And I love beat 'em ups, and I really like Scott Pilgrim, and I could never get into it. But anyways, I think the Turtles game here, Shredder's Revenge, I think it represents an improvement for that team, for the Scott Pilgrim team, Tribute Games. But that's just my 2 cents. And that's it, man. That does it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and please click like and subscribe and click the little bell if you liked my show. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.